Well, hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome to our very first Leading with Soul conversation. We are planning to do more of these. You've been a part of a lot of firsts, Keah. And so welcome you all. I will do all of my formal introduction, but for those of you who choose to pop on, if you wouldn't mind sharing, letting someone know that we are here. We would love to have a conversation with you. So please let someone know that we are on. I'll tell you a little bit about me while you're sharing. My name is Trinace Richardson, and you may normally be used to me popping on either on a Wednesday, now a Thursday night, because I'm the founder of Real Women, and realwomenrock.org is where you find us. Real Women Rock is a community of women where we create safe spaces for them to do personal development work on themselves. And I'm sure we'll mention Real Women a little bit here because it's who I am. It's a part of who Keah is. And so we'll talk about that. But we are here in a different instance because out of the work that I do with Real Women Rock, we wanted to make sure that we were addressing the needs of women leaders, those who feel sort of an extra responsibility. I think women feel, a burden of responsibility anyway to represent themselves well, their family members well, whatever roles they carry. And then when you put on top of that the fact that they might be leaders in their community, influencers on their jobs, in ministry, all of those things, that there's an extra weight there. And so the Leading with Soul community addresses those needs. We help people learn to lead and live from their soul, from their core, authentically, with empathy and with vulnerability. And so we have a wonderful cohort of women we're in year 2 now of our cohort, and we'll be talking more and more about our membership community as we move forward. And we are meeting every single week, every single month. We stay in community with each other, helping them lead. There is an entire curriculum that backs them up and supports them and provides them resources. All of those things have been curated by me. And you can find out more information at leadingwithsoul.org. It's right here below, leadingwithsoul.org. We would love for you to inquire. It is a closed community by invitation only at this point because we had an open membership doors, open house at a certain point toward the beginning of the year, and now we've closed our doors. But if you are interested, reach out to me directly. All right. So you go there and find out more information. I see you all coming in, and I see some of you all sharing. How kind of you. All right. I want to talk with it. This is so appropriate that we are literally talking during our first conversation with Keah Mason, because not only is she a dear friend of mine, I mean, we go way back. And we have, I believe, stood the test of time and friendship and sistership, which for me, that means we've gone through some stuff together and come out on it still together. So, so that's real friends. And I just appreciate who she is as a person, as a woman, as a Christian. I admire her in so many ways. She's really good friends to me and my husband, Greg. And it's so funny. I don't know why I'm saying this right now, this minute, but Greg is always like, I'm going to find a decent dude for Keah because she's so sweet. He said that all the time. And so we just love and admire you so much. And I'll let you share a little bit personally about yourself, but I wanted folks to know that not only are we friends and sisters, but you have been instrumental in helping build Real Women, and as a lead facilitator, as a part of the core team. And we've written a book together. Like, we have literally done life together. And so I just wanted to say thank you for your partnership in the work that we do, as well as your friendship and your sistership. So if you wouldn't mind saying hello to everyone and introducing yourself before we get into why we are here.
Hey, everybody. Good evening. Thank you all for joining us. We're excited to be here, and we are even more excited that you are joining in this conversation with us. We can't wait to hear from you and to connect with you all. My name is Keah, and again, I'm just happy to be here. I am an elementary school teacher by heart, by
Mhm.
my whole heart, even.
Aw, that's not by another student, is it?
No.
Okay, I was about to say,
And
your
I just
students
was
are,
like, oh, it's appropriate.
yeah, they are always giving you gifts, though. I think that's really cool.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Thank you so much for being here. So, this is a special conversation because you and I have done these kinds of lives a lot together.
Yeah.
You have hosted them and facilitated them for Real Women. And you getting back on, you are literally on the interview train right now. And it's because you are
Crazy.
launching a massive project. And so that's what we want to talk to you all about. I'm saying hello to you all. And whether you are, I see some hearts coming up. Let us know that you're here. Say hello to us. We want to ask you some questions as well as have a conversation with each other. So, this is a wonderful time that you have launched because it's about loneliness. Your new book is called When Loneliness Visits. And I just think it's so appropriate because this is February, the Valentine's Day month, and everybody's talking about relationships and
Yeah.
those things. And so it's just the perfect time for all of us, not just single women or men, to talk about the issue of loneliness because we all experience it in some way, shape, or form. We either have, we are, or we will potentially.
Mhm.
And it's not just in the context of not having a romantic partner. So I think this book is just so important at this time. So congratulations for birthing a baby.
Thank you. Thank you. I was in labor for a long time, y'all.
So tell us about the book. Let's start there. Tell us about the book, what it's about, and why you created it.
Oh, so which one of those do I start with?
Tell us about what is the book, first of all. What is When Loneliness Visits about?
So it is about loneliness. It is a book about loneliness. It talks a little bit about my personal journey and just my testimony, some of it. Liz, it's a lot. So it goes over some of it of just
Mhm.
things that I've experienced on my journey and how I have responded to loneliness. And in all honesty and transparency, they were some very unhealthy ways.
Mhm.
And I just didn't feel good about how I was responding and reacting to loneliness because it was something that I felt quite often because
Mhm.
I've always been single. And, you look around and it's like everybody else have, they have what you want or just whatever. And it's not, as you were saying, it's not just about relationships, but I'm experienced loneliness in the workplace, even in family relationships and just all kind of different things. And now, most people that are watching know I'm experiencing it in a new way as a daughter.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I just wanted to tell some of my story
Yeah.
because how I was responding to loneliness is not where I am currently today. And so
Mhm.
I just wanted to offer some encouragement because I know we all gonna face it in some way, shape, or form. But the whole purpose is to transition to a different perspective on how we view our situations because even when circumstances don't change necessarily,
Mhm.
the way we think about them can change.
Mhm.
And that happened to me. And I just was like, somebody can relate to this, somebody can connect with this. And so that was the purpose. That's what the book is about, rather.
Yeah.
You asked me you something along the lines on like why I wrote it or how it came to be or something like that.
Mhm.
And so Trinace, what people don't know and what is so appropriate, and I'm so glad we're talking about it because this
Yeah.
will be kind of the first time I think I'm saying it, maybe the first time you're even hearing it.
Wow.
But back in 2017, when I was like, I call it my initiations. being a facilitator for real women.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how that happened, but
I tell you.
it was at the intensive in
Mhm.
December of 2017, and you assigned all of the facilitators a certain topic, and you gave me loneliness. I don't remember what nobody else had, but I had loneliness, and I remember planning for that session. And that part, the planning part for me was a little easy because I was like, this is my life. I live it. I got it. You
Yeah.
know, I know how I want to present this. I know how I want to engage and connect with the women that are present. And then I remember facilitating for the first time ever was at an intensive.
And you rocked it. I want everybody to know that you rocked it.
But now that part, the facilitating part, I was scared and nervous about that part. But I remember having like an hour. And after that hour, I was like, I'm not done with this. I'm not done with this. There's so much more I want to say. There's so much more I want to cover. Because, you know, our sessions, they kind of go wherever they're going to go. And I just was like, God had just placed that on my heart. And it would have never been something that I thought about had you not assigned that topic to me. So appropriate that for me as I'm pre-launching the book, I am talking this week about my inspiration. Yesterday, I highlighted my mom, who of course is my biggest inspiration, but Trinace, and I want to say to everybody watching, you absolutely inspired this book and for me to write this book because you looked at me and was like, there's something in her related to this topic that people are going to resonate with, people are going to connect with. And I started just trying to help you with blogs to take something off your plate. So I started just writing casually for real women. And to me, they were like journal entries. And then it was like, okay, I was writing blogs for you just as a help to you to just take something off your plate.
Right.
And then I was facilitating all of a sudden. Both of these things, I want people to know both of these things were out of nowhere. And then
let me interrupt you. I'm trying to be nice and let you finish, but they were not out of nowhere. First of all,
I was just visiting. I was just visiting the circle.
Whatever. First of all, you are, and this is my opportunity. I love that so many other crazy negative things happen both on social media, on TV, all that. This is a love fest because, and it's meant to be one. I appreciate you showing love and appreciation for me, but I have to give it right back to you because not only have you been the kind of friend and sister who has always been honest with me and shared things with me, whether I wanted to hear them or not, you just shared in love. And I've always appreciated that about you. But in addition to that, you've always been a partner in the work that I've done. And by that, I don't mean a bystander or a spectator. You've always tried to figure out how you can help and support. And you take initiative and you think you're taking it from a, I just want to support you perspective, but you are a master educator and you are creative and you are organized. You communicate so well, you facilitate so well. So there are things about us oftentimes that we see that others see that we don't see about ourselves as clearly. You know, you're just doing the work that you do and others are seeing like, oh my gosh, that is so effective how she does that. And if I asked her to do this, it would. So the fact that you put yourself in position to help and support and in addition to that, you say yes when asked to do something. I think it just allows God to open up more space and more room for you to be and do more. And so I just want to say thank you for that. You were absolutely amazing for the facilitation of the session at the intensive, and I love that. Sandy mentioned she's so proud of you and your growth, and she remembers that session. So I think that's absolutely amazing that you can point to that space. And I just remember the last thing I'll say about it is for Real Women on the Journey, that intensive, just wanting to carve out as women, we go, down this road and we're always looking for the end destination, but we really need to focus on and appreciate the journey that we're on. And we experience different things, both positive and negative.
Yeah.
Do we really bask in the season when things are going well, or are we always looking for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah.
And so this piece was, how do we deal with those seasons when we don't feel like we have folks there with us and for us. So I want you to talk about that a little bit, because you got the chance to write more about it. And it's not just about relationships or not having a spouse, not having a romantic partner. It really is about more than that. I can say for me, I have been able to reflect after reading your book and having an opportunity to see you present on it and talk about it. I can look back on my life and think, in my family, I felt a bit isolated sometimes because I was made to feel so special that I was taken out of the regular circle of my cousins and everybody else, and even in friend circles and all of that, just feeling like the eyeball out sometimes. And that's a sign, a kind of loneliness. So what kinds of loneliness do you pull out in the book that don't just deal with singlehood?
Absolutely. So because I feel lonely, or because I have felt lonely, I talk about, I guess, negative things, for lack of a better word, that I have been a part of or engaged in because of how I felt. And so for me, the main feelings that I faced loneliness was obviously because of singleness and because I don't have any children. But they were also a lot of things like girl stuff, like comparison stuff.
Oh, that's good.
And I don't want to give too much away, but just, imagine wanting to be a part of something and you're not picked, right? So just not fitting in, or, my grades aren't like y'all's grades, or I don't live in the neighborhood y'all live in, or I'm not as athletic, or different things like that. Or Trinace can sing and, I don't know, I'm not going to karaoke with her because I mean, things like that. Not being included in certain things, or you see stuff on social media, it's like, oh, they had that, they didn't invite me, like when y'all went to the NDRE concert without me.
She was invited, y'all.
But you know what, we gonna come, let's come back to that one.
Okay.
Let's come back to that. But things like that. So and I've talked about different times I felt loneliness. It wasn't always related to men and relationships, but different things. And the responses could be, okay, I'm gonna latch on to more men and try to fill these voids, or I'm gonna go shopping because I want to feel better, or I am going to eat until I feel full, until I feel better.
Let me say something about that, because this is important, right? I have on the screen, how do you deal with loneliness? And for many of us, there's a positive way to deal with it, and there's a negative way to deal with it. So what I hear you saying, all of us can relate to over shopping, overeating, overspending, over sexing, over something, right? We can all experience, filling a void, trying to fill a void. And so I guess I would ask you, how have you found positive ways to deal with it? Or you mentioned even that you're not in the same space that you were. And how did you navigate that, and where are you now?
So there's this group called Real Women.
We told y'all we get back to that, right?
Yeah. But you know what? Trinace, it has boiled down to making a choice.
Yeah.
Because you're going to feel what you feel.
Yeah.
So Real Women has given me in my life, and for you, for whoever's, for those watching, it may be a sister circle. It may be a community of other women. It may be friendships. It may be counseling. For me, it was that as well. But finding a safe space where you can acknowledge your feelings, because no one is saying that it's healthy to suppress them and to
Right.
pretend that they're not there. So to just wish things away, that doesn't work for me, and I don't imagine it would work for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But to acknowledge, this is how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But something in me at a certain point in my life made me decide, even though that this is how I feel and this is true,
Yeah.
and these things happen, I don't have to stay here.
That's
I
good.
don't want to be stuck here.
That's good.
And because there is we're not talking about reaching for solutions or curing anything, but making a choice, because dwelling and focusing and staying there, it just doesn't change necessarily anything. But
Right.
what I realize is that, okay, situations don't have to change, but the way I see them can change.
That's good.
Because, and then my relationship with God makes all the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the truth for me, and I'll just be honest, my singleness always made me feel ugly. And I don't say that to, get any sympathy or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I'm still single,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't associate it with that anymore.
Yeah.
And it's not that I've turned arrogant, but instead, when taking my loneliness to God and saying, this is how this makes me feel, pouring it at his feet, I got to just say my truth and lay my truth down, but got in exchange his truth.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's his narrative that I play over and over. So for every rejection and every failed attempt, and this guy don't like you, and he ain't get all of that type of stuff, initially it's a blow, and it feels like, oh, dang, that hurt. Like, you
Right.
feel some kind of way, and that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But then, okay, let God filter that thing with his truth, because I can't replay over and over in my head, that just means you're ugly. That doesn't benefit me.
Right.
And I got to a point, real women just helped me get to a point, and counseling just helped me get to a point. This is my body. This is what it is.
Yeah.
And I can't keep hating myself, and I can't keep looking at these women and hating them because I'm not shaped like them, or because they have somebody and I don't. So it just got to a point, I just got tired.
This is so good.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why this is so important. And thank you all for being here. I see all of you all. Feel free to talk about how either you have dealt with loneliness, positive or negative, or if you've ever experienced it in any way. I love what you're sharing, because when we finally accept ourselves, right, for flaws and all, whatever because honestly, the eating, the shopping, all of that is to avoid having to deal with the feelings, so that we can process through them and get to the other side of fully accepting who we really are. Like there's just so many layers to it that, or deeper depths to it, that we don't get to the next layer of accepting ourselves until we deal with our stuff. And like we said, it's counseling, it's a safe space, it's a trusted sister that we can really start talking through what we're dealing with, so that we can get to the point of saying, you know what, it is what it is. I'm not like her, but I am all me. Like and I love that about you, because there's something that happens, Keah. Like, I just have to tell you, your glow is different. And I'm gonna say this for myself. I know that for me, I carry physical weight because I'm holding on to stuff. I'm an emotional eater. So when I am dealing with or stressed out about anything, because food is my latch, I become an emotional eater, and I end up holding on. It's when I start processing that I release physical weight. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not about size, matter, all that kind of stuff. It really is just about being your healthiest, best you. And I just see you glowing as a result of all the processing that you've been doing. So thank you for that. I really want you all to get this book, because it is a game changer because nobody wants to sit still and talk about loneliness, right?
Yeah.
People will
Yeah.
walk out of the room, the virtual room, they'll tiptoe out when you're not talking about how to gain a certain amount of money, but we all experience it and we think nobody else has experienced it. As a married person, you can experience it. As a family member, as an empty nester with your children, you can experience it. So could you talk to us about maybe what has been an aha for you as a process of writing the book? Like, have you had any ahas about, you mentioned your new level of awareness about yourself, but maybe about loneliness or life, anything you want to share that's been an aha for you?
Yeah, there are several things, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna try to pull one thing out. What I want people to know and understand is that the foundation of this book basically never changed.
Mm-hmm.
It was to talk about how loneliness has affected me,
Mm-hmm.
in negative ways, and then how it turned positive, right? So, like three negatives, if you will, three positives. That had
Yeah.
always been basically the layout of how the book was supposed to be. That was 3 years ago. And
Wow.
it was exactly what I presented in the facilitating my first Real Women
Wow.
session. But in 3 years, I didn't know that God was going to be like writing my story while I was writing the book.
Mm, mm,
And
mm,
I wondered why.
mm.
Why, when the idea never changed, like, why does it keep getting rejected? What is this delay? And that whole delay and denial and the rejection thing, it was like the biggest tug of war of my life.
Mm.
And it was between me and God. Like, it was this internal battle, because first of all, I never wanted to be a writer. And I
Mm.
wasn't like in the beginning, like trying to minimize like me or anything, but I just want people to know that this wasn't my plan
Yeah.
at all. I'm a teacher and that's what my dream is. And that's all I've ever wanted to be.
Right.
But let me just share, and Trinace, this will be so personal. So let me get to the point of my aha.
Yeah.
Um, I love being a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally got comfortable, like with even facilitating for Real Women,
Mm-hmm.
when once I put my teacher hat on, and I was like, this is just like teaching. Because at first I think maybe I was trying to be like y'all, you know what I mean? Other facilitators, I mean.
Right.
And I was trying to find my own way at first. But when I brought in the elements of my classroom and approached it that way, I started to get more comfortable. I love teaching.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest aha was God saying to me, you love teaching, but you have to learn now.
Ooh.
And that whole writing process was learning. And even now, the book is written, right? It's a whole nother level now. I be texting y'all, I be texting Trinace all the time. How you do this? And tell me how to do, because now it's the whole promoting and all of this technology stuff. And don't ask me what generation I was born in, because I don't know why I can't do this stuff. But it's just not me, and it's so foreign. So now it's a whole nother layer, and I am like, oh my gosh, God, you said write the book. Man, you ain't say nothing about nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unfamiliar. And everything I'm facing now is oh Jesus, it's unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to be an adult without my mother here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to promote a book. I don't know how to make flyers and I didn't think I'd really know how to write. I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not trying to minimize anything, but what God was my biggest aha, if I have to pick one thing, God saying, don't be afraid to learn.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to learn. You teach your heart out to these children. Now learn. Just be okay with learning. And I kept thinking, when my publisher and editor, when they would reject, they say, go back, Keah, go back, do this over, and do, all of this back and forth for 3 years. I kept saying, what's wrong? What is wrong with me? Here I'm writing about loneliness, and this experience feels lonely. Trying to publish this book, and I'm just trying to tell somebody a story. Why is it so hard? Why does this feel lonely?
Wow.
And God is like, because I want you to know what it feels like. The people that you're trying to reach and connect with, you have to feel what they feel and experience what they experience, and it has to come out of you. And the only way it comes out of you is if you put yourself in a position to learn.
Girl, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get through this because I didn't even expect that the process, the aftermath of you putting the book together would be even more of a challenge. Like you thought getting it out of you and experiencing it, the experiences that led you to write the book are a challenge. And then for you to actually put the book out, and then to know that there are lessons continually for you as you are pulling, it just lets you know how incredible and awesome God is, that He would use every part of your journey to teach you, to move you, to grow you, and so I love that. And I love, someone has mentioned already about your vulnerability, because what you're doing for us is you are modeling for us the vulnerability and the authenticity that brings about the freedom that Rhonda is talking about. Like we are seeing it live and in action by you exempling, because you didn't just write the book and act like you're the expert and you're not a part of the process and you're telling everybody what to do, 1, 2, 3, 4 steps to get out of loneliness, like you're not doing that. You are literally being vulnerable about your process every step of the way. And that's what we are about in Leading with Soul, and you're a part of that community as well. I just really appreciate that. And your aha, it is really a wow moment for all of us. Don't be afraid to learn, even as a teacher. Thank you so much for that. We could talk forever, and we could hold you all here forever, but please share this out with somebody, y'all. Somebody needs to know that we are dealing with a topic that Keah has written on, a topic that people are afraid to deal with. When loneliness visits, it's not the most popular topic, but it is very prevalent. And so let's put this URL out in the world so that this book can become one that is read and help somebody. Let's share this video so that someone will know that this book is out there. When you're dealing with folks who are talking to you and you hear that ringing of, that semblance of loneliness, just know that they will be so blessed. I have read it. They will be so blessed by this book. Could you share a little bit about where we can find you next? I know that you're in a beautiful pre-launch campaign right now. So I know if you tell about your Facebook page, where people can go and find a lot of what's happening with you and what's coming up.
Sure. So I'm on Facebook, very active on Facebook. It's Keah L. Mason, and Keah is spelled Keah, and that's on Facebook. Instagram is just Keah Mason, and Twitter as well, Keah_Mason.
And I'm just going to put your whole name up here so folks know. I believe if they go looking for the book, they will find you. You have some incredible comments here, Keah. Just so amazing. Folks said, don't be afraid to learn is an awesome aha that resonates with you. I have my bishop is up here. We joke with each other. He said I'm his pastor. And so I challenge folks to buy one. Oh, that's good, Sandy. Sandy said, I'm putting it on the screen, that we need to talk about it. We need to process it for ourselves. And we also need to give that gift of love to somebody else. I love that. Go ahead, Keah.
Can I mention too, what that comment just reminded me, and thank you for that, Miss Sandy, for that encouragement. When you are reading this book, just know this is not me talking. It's interactive. So you're going to have to do some digging. You're going to have to do some work. I encourage you, get you a real pretty journal, your favorite color, your favorite design on it, whatever, because that's going to go alongside with your book, because you're going to be asked questions, and it's not a one and done. Doesn't have to be in one sitting or anything, but some things it is meant to be reflective. And so hopefully you'll be inspired to do that work while you're reading the book.
Yeah, so good. This has been amazing. Like I said, I know we could stay here. I want to honor your time, but I also want someone to share this out so that you can let someone know for 30 good minutes. You're going to be a part of a really intimate conversation about a topic that so many of us deal with. So please share this out with someone. Thank you so much, Keah. Any final words you want to share with us?
I just want to thank you, Trinae, so much for allowing me this opportunity. And I really sincerely want to thank everybody for watching. Thank you for your time and for tuning in with us. And please share, like Trinae said, share the video, please. Give somebody the link for how to purchase the book. You can pre-order. The book will be released on February 22nd. So if you place a pre-order, it is going to be shipped directly to you soon after February 22nd. And I look forward to hearing your honest thoughts about it. And I can't wait to just have these real conversations about what your thoughts are about it and how your journey is going.
I'm looking forward to book club discussions, book clubs being formed. I'm looking forward to having you come back so that we can talk about it. Once all of us have the book in our hand, we can do a virtual discussion. There's so much that we'll be able to do with it once it's out. So February 22nd, you said?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Gail. Thank you, Kimberly. I would love for you to do that. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been our very first Leading with Soul conversation, and I did it with Keah.
What a nice birthday treat. Yay. Thank you,
so listen, y'all have to virtually sing with me because her birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday. So this book is birthing a baby, or in your birthday season. Me too, Rhonda, right? Our book club discussion, it's on. It is absolutely on. Rhonda was saying book club discussions. Yes. So, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So proud of you that in this season of your life, you are embracing all of who you are and releasing some of who you are to us so that we can be blessed by it. I'm just in awe. And you've gotten some happy birthdays.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Please continue to pray for me, everybody. Thank you all.
Absolutely. You are in our prayers, and you are now in our phones because we are about to buy this book. We are going to buy this book. So you all, that's the last thing I'll make sure is on the screen. We will periodically be back with some Leading with Soul conversations. We want to make sure that they continue to be just as impactful and meaningful as this one was. So We will let you know when we're back. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Share this out with someone and have a wonderful birthday, Keah, at
Thank
your
you.
undisclosed location. Bye. See you later, y'all.
Good night.
Good night.